morning. How are you today?
Good, thanks. How are you doing?
Good. I like your pin.
Thank you. Yeah, security officer.
So, first off, how did you get involved in doing roles like this where you're doing a lot of prosthetics and a lot of suits and things like that? Like, some people jumping back and forth between this stuff, but it must take a certain level of skill to do these things.
I think it's definitely a unique and different skill set to do creatures and prosthetic makeup work. And I think that I fell into it because of my previous experience as a pro athlete and the physicality around some of the creatures and a willingness to just give it a shot. I mean, it takes a pretty unique person, I guess, to want to get buried in makeup in it. Some of them take, like the Star Trek one, takes 5 hours to get into, and that can be tough on some people. And then you get a head casting done, so if you're claustrophobic, you're not going to get through that stage. So there's definitely a unique element to it. And then I have some stunt experience again because of my past physical and sports history. So I think there's a physical element, and then my size. I mean, it's just sometimes I just fit that, like, hey, we want a big guy for a creature, and I'm the guy who'll say yes. So it's
Do you remember what your first one was? What was the first thing that got you into doing some of that?
Well, I remember the very first time I had anything unique makeup-wise was a bald cap, and it was the first job I ever got.
Oh, really?
Playing Osiris in this show called MythQuest, and we're going back.
Yeah. I remember MythQuest, yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a very big role, first ever role, and the whole concept of being bald all of a sudden was like, wow, this is what I look like with no hair, which is coming soon, I'm sure. But that was kind of like ground zero. But then the first really elaborate one, I think, might have been a werewolf on Haunting Hour. But the first time when they start putting these appliances on, and the technology and the process is so intricate and so advanced now that once they glue it to your face, anything you do translates into this. Like, it's not just like a slap on and then like just the mouth moves. It's any kind of little movements you do come through. So you get to actually really create this monster or creature or alien. And that's pretty intoxicating because there's no precedent set. Like humans, sadness is sadness for a human.
Right.
But there's no manual on how to be an alien, or there's a freedom of creation. And it's often collaborative with the producers and the directors and whatnot, but you get to inject this whole new world and personality and character into this makeup. Those are fun, but after a while, I mean, if you, especially, stuff like Star Trek when it's 5 hours, or Cabin in the Woods, same thing, 4 hours to get into the makeup. And after, I think Cabin in the Woods was like over 2 months of in and out of that makeup. Towards the end of it, when you're doing long days,
awesome. Some of the stuff they did in that film, to me, was some of the best prosthetics we've seen in.
Which one was that?
A Cabin in the Woods, for me, was one of my favorites for prosthetics and makeup and costumes and everything.
Yeah, and to be like
Monsters.
the kind of key, phenomenal. And the intricate. It was great, and the action and the story and the Joss Whedon's vision was pretty cool.
So tell me about Star Trek Beyond. How did you get involved with this project in particular?
Well, I think it was my extensive experience with prosthetic makeup and my size, and I think hopefully my acting resume, when they think, we can get a guy who will wear prosthetics, who has the physicality, and has the acting experience. Well, so I didn't get to. It wasn't so much an audition process as a meeting the people who are doing it, like Joel Harlow, and he's the creature creator,
right.
the man behind the magic of all the aliens, and the producers and the director. And we went through an audition process, but it was unique because we didn't do auditions as aliens. We did auditions as just strictly for acting.
Right.
And then from that pool, I think, again, the prosthetic history and the experience and physicality. And then we met Joel, and he's like, yes, I think you'd be best suited for this alien. And I wound up getting Wadjet, which Joel told me was the first creature he had designed for Star Trek.
Really?
And he said his favorite. I won't hold you to that, though, Joel. But I mean, that was a bit of an honor and a little bit of pressure, maybe, if that was the case. I mean, that's what I told myself, so to do it justice. But pretty cool, pretty fun, and then that's kind of how it came about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So then the fight sequence that you end up doing, what was that experience like? Because obviously I mean, Star Trek has so many of these amazing creatures, every film, but you also get to fight, which these creatures aren't always involved in the fighting per se.
Well, I don't know. It did make the final edit.
Well, it's on the deleted scenes, wasn't it?
I don't know. I haven't
Oh,
had a
really?
chance to
Oh,
see
okay,
those. So
well-
if that is, that's awesome.
Okay, well, sorry. Tell me about the fight though, because
Well, Idris Elba, first of all, unbelievable
Of
talent,
course.
such a presence. So just to be, and he's made up fully in his alien outfit, but you can
Right.
just tell he just has this presence. So you can tell, that it's him, and his art, his work is so seamless and amazing. Get caught watching sometimes, which is not good if you're on camera. But to be involved in a scene with him was just an honor anyway. And during it, and he's creating it as he goes. There was no, this is what's going to happen. Some of the things that happened, Justin would come and go, I like that, do that, we'll keep that, and we'll keep going. And not that it made the final edit, hopefully it makes it deleted scenes. But Idris comes in one time and he's talking about how you can send your strongest or your weakest, and he kind of calls me out as the weakest, although I'm definitely the biggest. I had this big hump on my back and padded up shoulders, and I was hunched over, so when he says that, I stand up a little taller and try and front him. And it just decided that wasn't going to work for him, so he gave me a bat in the head. And I come back and I snarl at him. And for me, I mean, it was like this crazy, great, out of nowhere moment. And we did it a bunch of times, and I was hoping it would make the final edit. It didn't, but to just film it and to be in a scene with Idris Elba
that's
and
amazing.
to interact even with just grunts and growling was pretty darn cool.
He seems intimidating. I mean, in the sense of he's so proficient as an actor. He's so
so grounded, so ready,
there,
and so engaged in what he's doing. Like I said, his presence is palpable. It's almost tangible. And I mean, that to be behind that makeup and to kind of like feel somewhat removed. When I wasn't on camera, I felt like a spy watching the secret inside of how greatness is and how they work, and try to sponge and absorb every moment and every aspect of it I could. And that goes for Carl Urban and Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana.
It's a great cast.
Right? And I'm standing right there watching them do their thing. What an honor, but also a privilege for the education you get. So I get to be a part of this unbelievable franchise, this piece of history, and get lessons in the art form that I'm addicted to and passionate about from quote-unquote experts.
Right.
So,
that's cool.
pretty good experience.
So what are you doing otherwise? What's happening right now for you?
Doing my best to raise two little men as a dad. But in terms of work, I just landed a role as the new villain on our show called Mech X4.
Oh, really?
And it's a Disney kids show.
Cool.
And I love it because there's laughter, we get to have fun, and the script is written, there's some light moments, but then also I'm the villain, so there's the whole, I get to be bad, it's good to be bad. And I've got a movie coming out called, well, it was when we filmed it was called The Plateau, but it's now called Devil in the Dark.
Okay.
And I'm really, really excited about it. It was an amazing experience to shoot. It reminded me why I'm an actor. Carrie Dixon wrote this project, and I'm so glad that I got to be involved. It's basically a two-hander between two brothers. And the whole filming process and working with Robin Dunn on camera.
Oh, Robin Dunn.
Robin Dunn from Sanctuary.
Cool.
Yeah, we played brothers. So he's a great guy, and we have similar senses of humor, so we had a great time off camera.
Nice.
But to connect on camera, because he's a super talented guy. These conflicted characters with a whole bunch of history, just to be able to engage in that story and tell that story with Robin, remind me why I do what I do.
That's cool. Nice. Well, thank you very much. Can't wait to see more stuff.
Thank you very much.
You're very busy though, so more stuff must be.
It is busy. It's a great time. It's a great time to be an actor.
Thanks.
Thank you.